Hey guys. So I have Mike Kent here today, and Mike's been training with us since just started before the New Year, was it? Sometime in December.
Yeah, December.
And Mike's got a huge background in fitness, professional sports, and he and his fiance have now decided to sort of join up with us back then. And I'm really interested to hear what Mike has to say about the program and just a little bit more about his experience about it, so that you guys can again get a sense of what it's like to be part of the gym, what it's like to walk in, maybe if you've been training beforehand. But yeah, either way, let's dive in, and thanks a lot for coming.
Yeah, no worries at all. Yeah, so
what was the main reason that you were looking at doing something like this in the beginning?
Interesting question. I think I had real misconceptions about CrossFit.
Yeah.
And that would be to do a lot with people that are involved in strength and conditioning.
Yeah.
Also looking at talking about injuries, the amount of injuries that CrossFit have,
yeah,
etc. So I always moved away from it, but I was very used to it, doing it from rugby, but not to the level here. But I needed something else apart from just doing weights at the gym, where I was going to get pushed myself, and also the coaching element and learning new skills. So that's a big thing for me. So it was for me, it was coming in, looking at the program and speaking to other people prior to me coming here, one of them being Dave Bowden, and looking at the massive change in Dave. Huge change.
He's done really well.
Exceptional.
He was in last night. He's done, so well.
Phenomenal. And I've known Dave all my life, footballing together, cycling together.
Amazing.
So it's really, really good for me. And also, I also think it was the worry that my weaknesses would be shown up.
Got it. Okay. And how did you find that in the beginning? Well, how have you found that?
Initially, frustration.
Yeah.
That would be fair to say. Frustration partly on my shoulder.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, I've got a shoulder replacement. But I'm sure everybody knows that because the coaches normally mention it, saying, we'll work around that, we'll do something different. So there's always that.
Do you find that's... Do you like that?
Yeah, I do, because I look at it. So if we talk about the frustration first, the frustration for me was seeing people doing exercises that I know I used to be able to do no problem at all.
Yeah.
Knowing that I've now got to adapt and work out an exercise in order to facilitate my injury, but not try and compete with others. Because, in all honesty, there's some of the girls here, you look at them and they're lifting so well and exceptional weights. Really, they are lifting some great weights. But I think it's like I said the other night, somebody had made a comment on the phone, and I said, every time you walk in the gym, it's an achievement, but it's also, it's your goals, it's not everybody else's. The benefit of coming into a group, such as all the different classes I come in, because I don't think I've ever been in the class where everybody's been exactly the same, is everybody strives to push themselves to the best of their ability, trying to achieve small goals, which in some cases are big goals. If you can understand that.
Yeah, no, completely. So what you like about it is the fact that someone is they're achieving little wins each time they come in.
Yeah, because ex-military, I've done courses with the Marines, I've done rope climbing, I've done all the kind of tests for the Gladiators when it was the original Gladiators, which I passed.
Wow! Did you get?
No, I got to the video interview.
Yeah.
And I got told afterwards I wouldn't get through because I was another 4 stone heavier than the winner the year before. He said you wouldn't get through, it wouldn't be good TV. But you know, they're
passed all the tests.
Yeah, so the test was you had to do an 800 metre run in 2 minutes 22, if I remember. Long time ago.
That's going some.
That's going some. So
is that on a track or is it like
that's on a
treadmill?
On treadmill. So I forget.
Yeah, that's going some. Oh, that's horrible on a treadmill.
So that's horrible.
Yeah.
Then you had to do 10 pull-ups.
Okay. Strict. Yeah. That's good.
Then you had to do a rope climb.
Yeah.
Which took me back. So when the rope climb, but what you had to do, you had to go up the rope, then you had to come down the rope. You weren't allowed to touch the floor, and then you had to go back up the rope.
Got it. Yeah.
Then you had to do.
So you had to be proficient in those kind of.
Yeah. So then you had to do the monkey bars.
Cool.
Triangulator or whatever they call it.
Oh yeah, you got the spinning. Did you?
Yeah, they didn't do the spinning. They'd done the bars to start with.
Yeah, got it.
And then you had to do a minute defending and a minute attacking with the bugle stick.
Oh, cool.
So really, it didn't bother me. So I did the defending to start with, then attacking. But I'd done some training with that where I'd used a barbell and with some weights on it. So I practiced that. Actually, the guy that ran the Gladiators was a guy called Gary Towers, who was a prison officer. So he trained them all. I think after I failed, and then about a month later, I ended up down in London on a course, and I had one of the parts of the course that I had to do was what they call a shield run.
Okay.
And I lined up, and next to me was the guy that won the Gladiators the year before.
Really?
Yeah. He won it the year before, so he and I had to do a 500 metre shield run, along with that loads of other people, and he was strong. He was strong and he was fast.
Really?
Yeah, and he pulled away from me about the last 50 metres. And
oh my goodness!
But he was good. I mean, you've got to remember, I'm not an endurance athlete like that really.
No.
I'm more of a sprinter. So yeah. So
the 500 metre run is uncomfortable.
Yeah, very
it's just far enough. You have to give it all your welly, but you have to breathe. It's just hitting that glycolytic pathway. It's not pleasant.
It's not pleasant.
No.
So so that was so the rope climbing. So when I come in,
done a lot of trek. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so the rope climbing that I did back within the days of the forces, and then you've come in with a couple of texts where Darren's shown some techniques and Tyler's shown some techniques, and you look at it, and initially my shoulder was just giving in, and then one day I came in, and for whatever reason, it just clicked back in my mind, and I just watched what Tyler had shown me and watched what Darren had shown me, and I thought, yeah, I can do this, and I didn't let it, and I just flicked it away. I was up and down the ropes. So when we done the tests, and when we're doing the as many reps as possible, I forget what it was that day, but going up and down the rope, I love getting up and down the rope now. So
Brilliant.
It's just, but I do learn to wear. In fact, I've done it with Jack one day.
You've got to make sure you've got long socks.
Well, long socks, I was all right, but
Yeah.
Jack stupidly was wearing long trousers, so he's slipping.
Oh.
So they're slipping all the time. So so you learn things, but you see some. You look at some of the guys and girls here, and you think, "Well, I've got to be better." And you look at them, and sometimes they're phenomenal. You know, it's really amazing what they're doing, and they're pushing themselves. And what I do like about it is there's different gradings or scalings, as you call them, for each individual. I always try to look, if I can do RX as much, if my shoulder will allow me to do it, I'll try and do that level. But if not, I'll always try and put myself into the intermediate, just to push myself. And I've got to remember, I'm not getting any younger. But I what kicks into me from doing coaching, etc., is once I'm finished, that's not the end of it. It's everybody else that's got to finish. Yeah. So I like to go and
encourage. Actually, that's one thing I noticed. You tend to go and give them encouragement. Yeah.
Because I think Tyler was doing something the other day, and he was joining in the class, and he still had a 400 metre run to do, and he come back and just finished it, and I ran with him.
You ran with him. Yeah, that was the session. Yeah, it was a few weeks ago, wasn't it?
And I was saying to him, "You've got to breathe. You've got to breathe. You've got to breathe. Hold your breath." He was
suffering through that. Yeah.
He was. Yeah. And but you say he suffers, but you watch him do exercise and pull-ups or.
Oh no, he's good.
And he's good, and he doesn't even get out of breath. And I'm thinking, I just wish I could do that. I was watching a video last night with him doing pull-ups and handstands. Well, I used to be able to walk on my hands, these handstands.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I couldn't, my shoulder's too weak now for even me to get up try and get into that position. Yeah. But I will always try and work around it, and so I use
that positioning, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just weakness, and it's just...
when did you have it done?
5 years ago. But it's...
Was it up until that point, was it like constantly painful?
Oh, awful.
Really?
But since I've had it done, fantastic. The surgeon that done it,
amazing.
Mr. Hill, was brilliant. But it got so strong, one day I threw the ball for the dog and I tore my supraspinatus. So hence why I now constantly have physio.
Was it a complete tear or did you rehab it?
Rehabbed it, but it's a partial tear, so it's like there's not a lot you can do about it.
No.
And though I'm still seeing Mr. Hill when he wants to see me again, beginning of April, there's not a lot he's going to do about it. And there's people who are in more need of surgery than a guy that wants to keep fit.
Sure. Yeah.
Sadly.
It's like me. The guy I went and saw the surgeon about my hip, and he was like, "Look, it's actually better today than it was 12 months ago, based on the scans and the X-rays." Yeah. He was like, "There's no need. You don't need to. It's impinged, but you don't need to. You don't need to get it operated." I was like, "Great, cool. Just got to go and work harder on my own rehab and mobility."
And you talk about rehab, so that is one of the things that I would say for anybody that's considering CrossFit. As long as you go to a ratified kind of CrossFit gym with CrossFit coaches, certified CrossFit coaches who are going to go through. It's very much like when the coaches are coaching or demonstrating, it goes back to qualities of a good instructor, and that's confidence, manner, attitude, diligence, and enthusiasm. Yeah. But it's also what I used to call EDIP. So explanation, demonstration, imitation, practice.
Oh yeah, well they talk about that on all their coaching courses.
So they talk about that. So what you're trying to do, so you're looking about the EDIP. So it's very good. So you can visualise.
It's really good.
Because I learned from visualising and looking at something. So last week when you were doing it, you broke. I forget what we're doing now.
Was it the hang power clean?
Hang power clean. So you were going through that stage by stage, and I could pick it up. And I was watching, I was thinking, well, how does it do that? How can I
you really like the demos. That's really...
I like the demos, and also you can pick up. So sometimes you might see me stop, and I most probably look more at this. I'd look at the left end where some are more of the RX type people.
It's funny that actually, when we're in the gym, we tend to get... Yeah, you're right. It's kind of... They tend to come in first.
Or they go to the back.
Yeah,
so it's always...
Okay.
It's always good for me to
go and watch them,
and
you're more of a visual learner.
Yeah, so I learn off them, and I think, well, I could do that, and then so I've got to adapt it to what my shoulder can play. So if we talk about how my shoulder is, if I do, and this is one of the things, prior to me coming here, up until the first 2-3 weeks, I was still getting, and I still, don't get me wrong, I do get pain in my shoulder if I've had a heavy session, etc. Yeah. But if I was doing weights at the gym, specific weights, i.e. say chest and triceps, back and biceps, legs, shoulder work, maybe 2 days later when the DOMs kicked in, my shoulder would be sore, and
you feel it sort of internally,
I like trying to
that's not pleasant,
and it's not pleasant, and it's still today. I mean, though I've run last night, I mean I'd have to warm it up fully before I train, but since I've been doing the exercise like power cleans and other exercises, and where I'm not doing so much chest pressing, I still do it at the gym, where I do it once a week. But whereas most probably spend a little bit more time on doing that and not so much concentrating on my lats, my shoulders, my traps, it seems to have improved. My shoulder seems to have improved.
So where you focused on engaging your lats and traps, so keeping it a bit more organised.
Yeah, so it's more functionality. So it's all. So if you look at some of the exercises that you teach us and promote, i.e. there's certain things I can't do, like thrusters. I'd love to be able to do them, but it doesn't work.
It's the disparity between the strength on one side, isn't it?
Yeah.
You'd be able to do dumbbell thrusters, but just with 2 different weights.
Yeah, we'll see. And then if I use the kettlebells, if I do the 2 versions, i.e. the American and the Russian, Darren, the other week, he went, "No, I don't think so, Mike. Pick up the heavier one."
Cool.
So he said
That's good.
So he said to me, "Pick it up," and I messaged him, thanked him for pushing me, because otherwise I would have chosen the path of least resistance, which
sometimes you need eyes on.
Eyes on to say, well, why don't
go? Come on.
Yeah, why don't you do that? So that's what I did.
It's really good, isn't it, when you get someone.
Yeah, so they're looking at you and they go, "No, I don't think so. Get on with it." And sometimes you need that. That's what you need. Not he wasn't saying kind of, but he's saying, "No, I don't think so, Mike. I think you can go up." And then, so for instance, I look at you talk about strengths and weaknesses in a team. Okay, we all have strengths and weaknesses, and so I was working with young Seb this week, which was emotional.
Seb's strong. He's strong all round. He's amazing.
But
he's 19 though.
Yeah, I was a lot stronger on the kettlebells.
Were you? Because of his back. Yes.
So I was a lot stronger on those. And then we've done the exercise where we had to do. I think we were doing 1 arm carries with a dumbbell, which again I found difficult.
Yeah.
Because of my shoulder, so I can only do it on 1 arm, and then we had to do the carry. And I thought, well, I'm going to do 12s and I'm going to do 24s. And I did them, and I kept ahead of him. I thought, I've got ahead of him now. So that was my goal, not to let him catch up with me.
That's really good.
So he's good. I mean, I like.
So you get that intensity working as a pair.
Yeah, so I like working with him. I do like working with. Yeah, I like working with all. I worked with Joe last week. So I have strengths and weaknesses, like doing the GHDs, which I think are hair straightener. All I can think of is hair straighteners every time they say that.
Yeah, I know.
So,
glute hand developers. That's what they're short for.
Whereas I've used them the opposite way around.
Yeah, face down, hip extensions, back extensions. Yeah.
And also for lowering down to do hamstrings.
Yeah.
So.
The hamstring curl.
Yeah, so I've got to say, and it's helped me develop, and I now go to the gym and I look at the exercises I'm doing, and I will try and work on some of those when I'm at the gym doing those exercises. Frustrated, yes, still frustrated because my shoulder, because I know for a fact that if my shoulder was, if it was, didn't have that tear, and it wouldn't still, I still may not be able to do what I could do, but that's me frustrated, that's not frustrated in the process.
It's frustrated more with yourself.
Correct.
That's very similar to, even me when I'm the other week when I was deadlifting and Tyler came up to me and said, "Look, actually you're deadlifting the roundabout," and I was like, "Yeah, you're right." So I put it on blocks, but it really annoyed me because I physically couldn't do it. But it's like, but there's nothing I can do about that. Like right now, it's better than it was, but there's like I have to just accept that that's where I'm at, and it takes a bit of dealing with, and I had to have a quiet word with myself after that, or during it, because I was like, I need to just get over this. But I'm struggling emotionally to think about it because I used to be able to lift off the floor.
Yeah,
and there's just not a lot I can do.
And, you know, I look at things when I used to be able to. I used to be benching 120 to 140 kilos, and I'm lucky now. I'm really happy by putting a barbell and 2 20 plates on. And if I can do 10 of those,
that's huge.
I'm ecstatic.
Yeah.
But there was a couple of exercises where I kind of, I was quite frustrated with myself because I think I can do them. But, ultimately at the end of the day, I work around it. I feel better for it. Do I feel that I've lost body fat? Yes, I do, most probably. But I've most probably gained a little bit of muscle mass. So my weight is kind of stays steady at about 97.5 to 98. So it doesn't really affect me in the sense that we're hopefully coming out of this rainy, horrible weather.
So you better get out on the bike a bit more. I've
been out on the bike and I'm relatively strong. Went out up Harting Hill the other day, no problems at all. I overtook this guy, going up there and had a chat with him as we were going past him. But I know for a fact, in the words of one of my friends, I will lose a bit of timber. Mm-hmm. I will lose a bit of timber by going out on the bike. So, but what I can say is by doing a lot more of the CrossFit type HIIT, if you want to put it as HIIT, or kind of, where cardio aerobic type stuff, it has helped my cycling, especially on sprint wise. It's definitely helped.
To make you a bit more explosive.
Yeah, on the flat and on the undulate, I'm going to be strong.
Cool.
You and I are never going to be climbers.
Sure. No.
We're never going to be climbers on the, on a bike. But yeah, I've got to say, it's a benefit, and it's good to see the community. Well, because it is a community. It's like it's a club. It's it's a club that they come to, and they're all happy to come to, and everybody's pleased to come to. And you always look at everybody because they're always like, oh God, what exercise we've got today. I know sometimes I've asked Darren, I've asked yourselves, what are we doing this week? And Darren put it out last week. So it's not that I want to, and most probably the same for other people, it's not that I don't want to come to a certain session when I see
you want to know what you're looking forward to.
But I want to know so last night I knew for a fact, because I wasn't doing it today, I knew for a fact that I could run last night.
Yeah, okay, got it. So you know what you need to be doing. So
I know what I need to be doing. Saturday mornings, I love the Saturday morning sessions because if the weather's decent, bang, I'm gone. I'm straight out on my bike afterwards. That's the only reason I kind of, and I know you've taken them off there, but I think it's good for me to see because I'm really looking forward to the session tomorrow. My only issue with the session tomorrow, which is for the benefit of the podcast, I know for a fact is dumbbell power
cleans.
Dumbbell power cleans with burpees.
Yeah.
So
it needs to vary the reps.
The power cleans I'm not bothered about. It's the burpees, and I think you've seen me when I've been doing the burpees and then jump up. So
one arm.
If I go down, if I have a bench where I'm not pushing down and using so much pressure on my supraspinatus, then I can get up, and it's good for me for that. So
you just need to it's just adapting the.
Yeah,
it's adapting the training.
I think what we did the other night, and everybody was looking around, and they were all, and where we were doing the row, you had to do the box jumps,
push-ups, and the
push-ups, and the rower. Well, I was working with Mike, and I'm okay at rowing. I think you used to have Grant Lillywhite used to come here,
Yes, a long time ago.
and Grant's an exceptional rower.
Yeah.
An exceptional rower, and he could do like 19 strokes.
Oh no, he was powerful. Yeah, he's really
Unbelievable,
powerful.
and I couldn't get anywhere near him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the rowing for me the other day, I loved it.
Amazing.
So yeah, otherwise, yeah, I've got to say it's a benefit for me. It's great to see the changes in people. It's great to see, you know, it's what I do like about it is everything's not about aesthetics.
Yeah.
You see so much on social media.
We talk
these
about
days.
transformations, but yeah, it's not so much about that. It's more about what can you do?
Yeah, because you know, at the end of it, you can look at things that aesthetically. Let's talk about Ronnie Coleman. Ronnie Coleman looked absolutely fantastic. However, because he didn't do things right, he's an absolute mess.
Yeah.
As are a lot of other
Yeah.
professional athletes.
Which I think a lot of CrossFit athletes, they tend to be quite functional, like right throughout, as long as they don't overtrain.
Yeah, I think one of the exercises you were doing the other day, which are pistol squats.
God,
God,
it was yesterday. Well, a single, yeah, but all that stuff.
single, fantastic.
It's about developing balance and creating it and isolating where the imbalances are, because that's when you can start to really improve, is by working on those imbalances.
Yeah, and that's for me.
Yeah.
It's not working on your strengths; it's working on your weaknesses.
Yeah.
So, hill climbing on a bike for me
It's tough.
is tough, but I love it. And I'm going to Lanzarote in a couple of weeks' time, going on hills like Tabieska,
Mm-hmm.
and though I know them, I just love the challenge of going up them.
Amazing.
So,
Amazing.
I've got
Yes.
to say it's been good. So thus far for us, and
Awesome.
I know Ali's really enjoyed it. She's obviously just frustrated because the skiing accident.
But I mean, you know, testament to Ali. I mean, I saw, you know, today. She's just in the car park while she was getting some treats. She was yeah.
You just grassed her up. That's great.
So she had but she was saying, you know, her knees, you know, even though they're, you know, it takes a while to, you know, soft tissue damage when you have a knee injury like that, it takes a while. I think, you know, the fact that she was so strong, I think, protected her.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it could have been a lot worse if she was.
She's so frustrated. She's so frustrated.
One of the things.
Because she sees everybody else. But again, you talk
Comparison
about,
trap is always going to catch you up.
yeah, you talk about
Yeah.
adaptation, and you know, she's adapted. She's
Yeah.
she can't do the run, so she'll just go, or she couldn't do the run, and
just
she's
does
done the
ski erg or bike
or the bike, so she'll adapt to.
And she can do a lot. Like there's so much you can do, but without pushing that joint. So I think she mentioned today she was doing the first set of squats, which is good. So yeah.
Oh yeah, because she has PT with Caroline.
Yeah.
So and I've got to say, I think people's misconception. I think a PT that I was working with, he was very kind of anti-CrossFit.
I always like those.
And I just think it's because myself personally, I think it's because there's this misconception of what people are going to do and what they're going to achieve. So
yeah.
That's what the problem is.
Yeah, it's understanding that you can adapt to it.
But if you look at CrossFit and you look at Gladiators
Mm-hmm.
and you look at Hydrox, is that
Hydrox,
Hydrox, yeah. That is just a modern version of what Gladiators was. You have to just look at the Gladiators that are on TV now. Everything they do training-wise will be CrossFit type work for their strength and fitness. So,
There you go.
very, very good, yeah.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for coming.
No worries
I
at all.
massively appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No worries.
Thank you very much for guys for listening, making it this far. That is phenomenal. And we will sign off at the half hour. All right, cheers guys. We'll see you in the next one.